All right, so we've been having a pretty ridiculous 2023 so far with our Amazon brand. So in January, we did about $80,000 in revenue. February, we did just short of $140,000, which equaled our record month in 2022. And then so far in March, we've done $240,000 in revenue and over $50,000 in profit. But not everything has been amazing. So last year we launched a product and it went really, really well. So we did nearly 9,000 units and made nearly $70,000 in profit with just this one product alone. So towards the end of the year, when we were doing product research and trying to kind of like figure out what the next step was, we decided that we were going to make a second version of this existing product. So we worked with the manufacturer to make a new version that was even better than the first version. So from start to finish, this process took us about 4 months. Initially, what we did was we got some 3D printed samples made based on some sketches that we'd given to the manufacturer. And then from there, we went back and forth with 3D samples and eventually got a plastic injection mold made. So the reason that we wanted to create a new V2 version of this product is because we wanted to capture even more of the market. So our strategy with Amazon is we enter a niche and then we want to take up as much real estate or space in that niche as we possibly can. So our goal really is to make sure that when a customer's browsing within our niche, they see our brand and our brand name everywhere. So once we got the design finalized, everything, sorted, we checked out the sample, it was good. We actually applied for a design pattern and then we went on and paid the deposit. So this is the deposit for the first order. After we did that, we made the listing. We worked with our photographer to get all of the photos made. We shoot everything on location using like real models, actually using the product. We went through the whole sort of process of getting everything ready. So this first order was for 5,000 units. And whilst it was on its way from China, it usually takes 8 to 10 weeks to actually get it from the manufacturer into Amazon. We were getting everything ready. And then we finally got that email that every single Amazon seller loves, where Amazon tells you, congratulations, your product is being checked into the fulfillment center. So we had everything ready. All of our PPC campaigns were set up. So we set them live. And in the first day, it absolutely flew off the shelves. So in day one, we did over 70 units, which kind of like far surpassed what we were expecting. Day two, I think we did over 80 units. So obviously like we were completely over the moon. Everything was going smoothly. It was actually going better than we expected. But then a 1-star review and another 1-star review and another 1-star review and then another 1-star review. Fuck. So we were talking and we were like, surely we're just having some bad luck. Because sometimes when you launch a product, you do get bad reviews. Sometimes you just get a couple of fussy customers, or maybe they receive one that's been damaged during transit. Sometimes you can't help it, but you just get a couple of bad reviews off the bat. And usually what happens is it ends up evening itself out. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case with our new product. So basically what had happened is we'd overlooked something, and there's a part of the product that just wasn't made in the right way. So we did do some testing, but we obviously just didn't test it enough. So what this meant was that a small percentage of the units, there's basically a defect that makes the product almost unusable. So thankfully it's not every single unit, but basically anybody that receives one of these units that's faulty, they're getting really pissed off, they're asking for a refund, and then they're coming to Amazon and they're leaving a negative review, usually a 1-star, an angry 1-star. So the weird thing is that we're actually selling a lot of units still every day. So as soon as we saw this happen, what we did was we completely turned off all of our PPC campaigns. The reason we did this is because we figured, why would we just keep burning through cash selling with PPC when we can just sell all of these units out organically? So the goal right now is to maximize the profit through selling through these faulty units. So yeah, weirdly at the minute, we're doing between 60 and 80 units a day, and it's 100% organic because the launch actually went really, really well despite all these negative reviews. So at the minute you can see here that some days we're doing over $500, even up to $800 in daily profit with this. But as soon as we saw this was actually a common fault, we spoke to the manufacturer who did some testing, and they agreed, yeah, there's something that we all kind of overlooked. They overlooked it, we overlooked it. So what we did was we moved super quickly to actually get a third version of the product made. So what this takes when you've made a custom product, especially a plastic injection mold, is our manufacturer is going to actually have to go in and change the mold, which is going to take a bit of time. But honestly, this is a massive lesson that everyone watching this video hopefully learns from, especially if you're making custom products, and especially if you're making products that are made of plastic and they require a mold. So thankfully, this wasn't an absolute disaster for us in the end.
How?
I mean, what it does mean is that we're going to be out of stock for probably 2 months because we need to sell through these units, and we would have already ordered more if it wasn't for the negative reviews that came flooding in. So I think we'll probably be out of stock for about 8 weeks, which at the rate that we're going is probably going to cost us $20,000 to $30,000 in actual profit, which is pretty crazy. So if there's one thing that you take away from this video, everybody watching this, is take it from me, make sure you test your products inside out. So don't just quickly stress test them. The best thing to do is order multiple samples and then actually send them to people that would actually be the customer. So if we were going to do this again, we would order 3 or 4 different samples, and then we would send them to people that we know actually would use the product, and we would get their feedback. Because we kind of did do this, we did test it, but if we'd have properly stress tested it, we would have noticed this fault before it went to market, and we wouldn't be in what is a bit of a mess. So thankfully, yeah, because the design is so unique, we're still seeing a really high conversion rate. But I think we got a little bit lucky. All right, so now you know about our biggest mess up to date. Go and watch this video where Tom actually unveils some pretty crazy news for new Amazon sellers.